honest man, a place to find some common ground. And all I really want is a wavelength. And all I really want is some comfort. A way to get the winter time. And all I really want is some justice. All right, so we're getting a taste of some Alanis Morissette. I've been actually very excited about this. Jagged Little Pill. I remember I went to a club in Cambridge, Massachusetts. If you know anything about clubs in Cambridge, Massachusetts, they're very Bohemian. I've been hanging out at them since the 90s. So, and I saw the poster when this was being launched. You know, Boston's kind of the B crowd of the New York City Broadway. You know, like they go to Boston a lot and test things out with the theater nerds. So anyway, I had high expectations for this. This is the first track I've listened to. It's like Rent meets Alanis Morissette. So 90s me is just loving it. So actually cooler than, I was expecting it to be cool. And I want to listen to this all the way through. But it's bringing me back to the 90s in the best possible way. So that's a new one. What else do we got? Gonna mix it up a little bit. All right, we'll go with this. Bohemian Rhapsody, basically the soundtrack. Queen. So good stuff here. It was a great movie. It's just a new format for the next generation. I'm glad that it's been happening, you know, so this whole vinyl resurgence has been very interesting. I grew up on vinyl, you know, being a kid, putting the cover art on my head and running around, you know, listening to Mickey Mouse disco. Legit, yeah. Other things too. But anyway, so for me, the vinyl, it's Christmas time. I stepped on my dad's record player when I was 3 years old, I think, on Christmas Day, and I broke the cover, and he never let me live that one down. But it was a cool record player, honestly. I wish we still had it. Yeah, because the thing was mint. I loved it. Other than the lid was cracked. So anyway, but that's what vinyl brings me back to. It brings me back to the living room in the 80s, 70s and 80s and 90s. But the 90s, CDs were the thing, so everything transitioned over to CDs. So speaking of, in that heyday of CDs was Weezer. This is OK Human. This is a really cool album. This actually reminds me of old school Weezer, but in a new, fresh way. And I've been trying. So, Blue Album, I remember when that was on MTV back in the day. I was in a band, and you know, we learned the riff for Undone, the Sweater Song, and you know, the Blue Album was great. You'd hear it all over Boston because he went to Harvard. And then Pinkerton came out, and I was a fan of that. And I worked at a record store where we sold Pinkerton. I liked it, but a lot of people didn't understand it, which was unfortunate. But anyway, it turned out to be underground, like a slow burner, and it came back. But this album here is really cool. It's all orchestration. It's all analog. Like, they didn't do any digital recording with this. It's a lot of fun. And then this one, Mix It Up, Childish Gambino. You know, I listened to this when it first came out. Well, only because I heard, you know, through the grapevine that it was a cool album. I didn't really understand it, but some of these songs have some radio play, and I went back and listened to it on headphones last night. It is really cool. It reminds me of a lot of different references, like mix like Stevie Wonder with Lenny Kravitz, and then like Radiohead. And you kind of end up with something like this. Yeah, so I'm going to give all these another listen. And that's really it. So just keeping it real, and hope you're having a good day. Thanks.